All right, let's talk Oklahoma Sooners football. Obviously, heading into a massive matchup this weekend. The Red River rivalry is upon us. Sooners, Texas Longhorns, going to be a great game. And Oklahoma just got some much needed news at a key position. I think it'll give them a huge boost as they get ready for this big time matchup. I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, so this Oklahoma Sooners squad, they've been a little bit up and down. We all know it, of course. Offensively, mainly is where they've had some issues, but we know there's going to be some growing pains to try and figure out who they're going to be long term on that side of the football. The strength of the team, therefore, has to be in its defense. And at times it's been there, but they've needed some guys to come back from injury, some guys ready to make a big time impact. And now it's the biggest weekend in order to do so. Fortunately, on that point, they got some great news. Let's pull up this report courtesy of SI.com. Oklahoma's defense could get another piece back as it prepares for Texas. Linebacker Daan Maka could make his 2024 debut in the Cotton Bowl against the number one ranked Longhorns, who are 5-0, 1-0 in the SEC, giving Brent Venables and Zach Elliott another weapon to try and slow down Steve Sarkisian's high-powered offense. Last year, McCullough played a key role in the Sooners' goal line stand against Texas as well, as he and linebacker Kip Lewis did an excellent job penetrating to wreak havoc in the Longhorns' backfield. McCullough has been out for the Sooners going all the way back to fall camp, not camp, with a toe injury, but could finally get the call back into the lineup this weekend. This year, however, McCullough could be deployed a bit differently. He worked at inside linebacker in the spring as opposed to the hybrid cheetah linebacker. All right, wherever he plays, wherever Venables decides to line him up, getting him on the football field to match this high-power Texas offense that's been off to an incredible start is a must-have for the Sooners. If he can play, it sounds like he will play at this point. Great news for Oklahoma. They're going to need him. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. But first, Sooners fans in the comment section below, listen, this is one of the great rivalries in all of college football. It's a really fun game. I'm not a fan of Oklahoma or Texas by any sort of means. I just love this rivalry. I love this game because it's great football. But I want to hear from you guys. Give us your favorite game in this rivalry in your entire fandom. Which one, we're going back 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 1 year, whatever it may be. Give us your favorite Oklahoma-Texas matchup of all time and put it in the comment section below. But Miles, what are your thoughts on this latest news for Oklahoma?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is going to be pretty big for Oklahoma in a couple of different ways. Namely, we know that Texas has been a very explosive team. They've had a lot of great stuff going on. Had a great rushing attack as well, despite losing a lot of key rushers in fall camp. They're 37th in the nation rushing right now, 191.4 yards per game is what they're averaging. I think the addition of McCullough is going to help that because although they did lose this game, Oklahoma did, when they went up against Tennessee, another team who is running the football very well, one thing they did do is use some versatility, move some bigger guys, namely Trace Ford, a defensive lineman, into that cheetah spot that McCullough traditionally played in last season to put some more size on the outside linebacker position to really help slow down the running attack. And I think with McCullough working more inside linebacker now, it's going to help out this versatility and allow them to have a whole bunch of different looks. Because even if you talk about, what Daan McCullough brings to the table, Stutzman, probably Oklahoma's best player, talks about mainly his versatility. He's dangerous all over the field. He can play absolutely anywhere. So I think that's what we look for from Oklahoma in this Brent Venables masterminded defense. This is what we're going to see from them this weekend versus Texas. There's going to be a lot of different looks, a lot of different players in a lot of different places because this is a Texas team. It's really, really good. It is going to be really hard to stop. So the best way you can do it is try to confuse the picture, try to get them, a little bit of hesitation off the snap. And I think that's going to give Oklahoma a chance, especially since there's not as much data now on the quarterback. I think they're looking a little bit more explosive at the quarterback position since Oklahoma has made their change. So I think overall, this is a move that could make a big difference against the Longhorns, and I'm excited to see how it plays out for them.
And one of the interesting kind of storylines, or I should say it's a non-storyline going into this game in Texas's offense, everyone's talking about it, and rightly so. They've been incredible. But their competition has been lacking, to put it mildly. Here's who's Texas has played: Colorado State, Michigan, who we know Michigan, they're not really a top 25 team this year. They're not nearly as good as they were last year. University of Texas, San Antonio, University of Louisiana, Monroe, and then Mississippi State. That's not exactly a murderer's row. And I'm not trying to bash Texas. It's early in the season, right? You don't know who you really are till you get to the end of the season. You go through a real gauntlet of a conference schedule. But we're really excited and really high and mighty about this Texas offense, and they are very good, undeniably so. But I don't think they're unstoppable. I think they're very beatable, especially when you compare it to what the matchup will be against Oklahoma. So, for example, Texas had over 500 yards of offense against Mississippi State. Great performance, except Mississippi State is literally the worst ranked defensive team in all of the SEC. By far, no one's even remotely closer at the very bottom of the list, right? So they did a great job against a really terrible defense. Oklahoma is right at the middle of the pack. They gave up more than 100 yards fewer per game than Mississippi State did. So again, we're going to see how good this Texas offense is, and Oklahoma should be healthier. They should be better. Venables is a big game defensive coach for a reason. They always have something interesting cooked up to, like he said, complicate the picture for the quarterback. So again, I think Texas is going to score. I think they're going to move the football, but I think this notion that this Longhorns offensive machine is just unstoppable, I think that's just a myth perpetrated right now. I'm expecting this game to be a lot closer than people think. I think Oklahoma's going to have to find a way to execute on the offense because they've been terrible on offense all season long, near the bottom, at the bottom in the SEC in terms of overall production. They're going to have to find a way to force a few turnovers, get some things on special teams, and get better offensive production. But I really, really think this is a game that's going to be a little bit more low scoring than people think. I think Texas doesn't really get above 31. I think Oklahoma actually holds them probably around 24 or 27. And if they can get some turnovers or get just a breakout offensive game, there's no reason the Sooners can't surprise everyone and beat Texas this Saturday.